Tough? Yes. Courageous? Yes. Impressive? Definitely. Crazy? Maybe just a little. It's early morning here in Germany, and we are at the swim start of Challenge Roth, and we are following Jonas Deichmann. Who is he? Think Forrest Gump meets Groundhog Day. We're at the swim start, but it is not race day. It's 2 days before race day. Yet Jonas Deichmann is embarking on the full iron distance of the Roth course, as he did yesterday, and the day before, and for 57 days before that. And the same course he plans to complete every day for another 61 days. He will swim 3,800 meters, cycle 180 kilometers, and then run a full marathon every day for 120 days in a row. No days off, no shortcuts. We're joining him today to take a look behind the scenes of a challenge like this.
How much has your body adapted to this unimaginable strain of a daily long distance triathlon?
But the body had a very tough first 2 weeks with knee inflammation, my Achilles tension was inflamed, and then the body adapted. So this is for a lot of people strange, but it will get better. Once I overcame this adaptation phase, it became better. And now my blood values are basically normal, no inflammation in muscles or anything. And everything adapted, but it's still until the last day. I have to be extremely careful because there's no margin of error, because I need on a normal day 14 hours including breaks. So if I delay by 2 hours, then that's already a big problem.
Jonas Deichmann is a renowned German adventurer and endurance athlete known for his remarkable feats in ultra and distance sports. His achievements have earned him a reputation as one of the most accomplished adventurers in the world. He has cycled some epic distances, including across Europe from northern Norway to southern Spain, across America from Alaska to Argentina, and across Eurasia from Portugal to Vladivostok in Russia. And he did a triathlon around the world, swimming 450 kilometers across the Adriatic Sea, cycling from Italy to China, and then across North America, totaling over 18,000 kilometers, and then running from the west coast to the east coast of the United States, covering more than 5,000 kilometers. This triathlon took him across 4 continents and more than 40,000 kilometers in total. And now he's attempting to break 120 iron distances in 120 days. An attempt to break Sean Conway's recently set record of 105 in 105 days. I joined Jonas, not for the whole day, but for some of his run, to discuss this crazy challenge. Okay, now we've got a quiet moment on the canal. We'll just ignore the crowd following us behind and have a little chat with Jonas about what exactly he's going through 58 days into 120 iron distances in 120 days. I've got a list of questions here. I'll try and start with the softballs, the easy ones, and then I'll ask you some harder ones as you get more tired. Firstly, I actually want to know, what's your personal best for an iron distance?
Actually, in 2 days, when I'm starting at the official challenge road as my halfway mark, day 60, this will be my first official triathlon race. So it's very funny. I'm one of the most well-known triathletes in Germany, but I did a triathlon around the world, and now this one, I never did a triathlon race, so I never raced on time.
But I'll tell you what's funny is that you chose to do 120 in 120 days without even trying to do one first. That's not, I mean, that's the crazy part. I mean, I know you did a triathlon around the world, but...
Well, I did, actually I did one when I was on vacation in Sweden. I did one for myself as a test for the triathlon around the world.
Okay.
And now I did 70, 80, 90 and 100% of a long distance as a training camp before this one.
Okay.
So
So you knew the distance, you just hadn't done any official events.
Yes, exactly.
We look forward to you crossing the finish line then on your first ever official triathlon on the weekend. Okay. You've cycled across Europe, Eurasia, America. You've done a triathlon around the world. Which is harder? This kind of challenge or those kind of challenges? I mean, I can obviously see the immediate obvious difference is that
here you go in the same loop, there's people all the time. You're cycling across Eurasia, you're probably not going to see people very much.
Well, it's very hard to compare. Let's say the hardest cycling challenge I've done was cycling across Africa, unsupported, which means I eat street food all the time, which means I get sick.
Yeah.
I sleep in a tent somewhere, and the logistics and everything, here it's fully supported.
Yeah.
The triathlon around the world, I crossed Siberia in winter. Swimming unsupported to the Croatian coast is a very miserable discipline.
The weather's definitely better here.
Now I have perfect nutrition and everything.
Yeah.
So it's very impossible to compare from that side. But this one is, the thing is, there is no margin for error. Because on my past challenges, if I have a bad weather, a bad day, well then I run 5k less and I do it the next day.
Yeah,
I do 5 more. Now
Yeah.
it's a long distance every day.
Set distance.
And
yeah.
that means I need around 14 hours, including a break, including a nap on average, which means with having enough sleep, there is basically 0 time. And then to do 120 days, you wake up in the morning and you have a few seconds to get out of your bed and say, well, let's do another long distance today. And this is the challenge. So physically, this is the by far hardest thing.
Really? Interesting. What would it take to stop you? Physical injury, illness? What's the thing that you're most scared of?
For this project, I have a doctor and a physio, and they are supervising. And for me, it is very clear. I push as far as I don't risk permanent damage. So if my doc says, if you push further, you will probably not walk anymore, then that's a stop. And the decision is also not mine, it's the one of my doc.
Yeah.
Because in this situation, I won't be in a state where I can't make the call.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I had knee inflammation, my Achilles tendon was inflamed, I had a slight cold, back pain, and I went through it. Always under the supervision of a doc.
Yeah.
And my body got rid of it. Now day 58, I have 0. I'm a bit tired, but that's it.
Yeah.
But let's say now we have the weekend coming up with a few 100,000 people. Let's take one example. If I get COVID, the risk of a heart muscle inflammation would be way too hard. So that would be a game over, basically.
That would be a red line.
Yeah.
Fair enough. You have to trust your doctor though in that situation.
I do.
That he's not just being overly cautious, or because that's obviously the worry as an endurance athlete, is that doctor's level of what's normal is not an ultra endurance athlete level of what's normal.
Oh, he does also ultra runs, and
Okay.
he's also actually the doc of the Challenge Roth.
Okay. So he understands.
He understands, and he said already, like with my knee inflammation, for example, to everybody else, he would have said stop.
Yeah.
With me, he said, well, you are special, you push through. This project is also to find out what's possible, but under supervision.
Yeah. Fair
so
enough.
on the day where I was had a very slight cold, no fever, he basically called me 4 times a day. He came the evening to do a heart checkup and take my blood values and everything to really make sure it is okay.
From where I'm sitting, that's the biggest challenge. And I've done 7 marathons in 7 days and stuff like that. After about 7 days, maybe 10 days, you've proved that even with all that fatigue in your body, you can get up and do it again the next day.
Yeah.
So really the challenge becomes logistics, lifestyle, putting off everything else in your life, day on, day off, for 220 days. You're not seeing friends, you're not watching a football tonight, for example, because you're doing this challenge. Is that the real challenge? Because as you've said, your body just adapts to a new normal, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, this is physically the hardest challenge I've ever done.
Yeah.
And it will be a borderline experience until the end, because a slight thing that goes wrong, there is no margin to get rid of it.
Yeah.
But
you can't stop for a day and then catch up that mileage later on. Yeah.
But you're also absolutely right. The thing is, especially the longer it gets, the harder it also becomes to don't question it. You wake up, you eat, you sleep, and you do sports.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Don't think about how
The-
crazy this is.
The only time
Yeah.
I'm alone is when I'm under the shower or on the toilet. Otherwise, there's always somebody around, and I don't have 5 minutes for me a day. I don't have it.
Yeah.
There's 0 free time. Every 3 minutes I sleep or eat.
Yeah.
And this is something. Also the food, 10,000 calories a day. I felt it already. Like it started maybe 2 weeks ago, that I got a little bit more picky with food.
Oh yeah.
And this makes a difference if you for dinner you take one or you take like your second portion is big or not that much because
Yeah.
you are just not hungry for it.
Slowly go into
The appetite
decline.
is going down.
Yeah.
So this is something we are now working on with always. This is fantastic. I get always my favorite food. So
Maybe that's what I should do. Then I can eat whatever I want. It's a tough way to eat whatever you want, though. For the people who are doing Challenge Roth this weekend, and it's their first one, and obviously, it's a massive, monumental, life-changing thing for someone to complete an iron distance event. It's huge. I've seen it change thousands of people's lives over the years. Do you not worry that you doing 120 of them in 120 days somewhat belittles their achievement of actually just getting through that distance?
no, not at all. Because I have also maybe already 40 to 50 people doing a long distance with me here.
Yeah.
Many of them the first one. Many joined for a marathon. And nobody has told me, well, this feels small compared to the challenge. Because it's not. This
No.
challenge is, I mean, if you do a long distance on speed, that's very different. And it also depends on the context. This is my full-time job for years. A lot of people have a work, a family,
Other
and
challenges.
they train next to that. I have to say, if you do a long distance triathlon, that is always the Champions League of sports, of endurance sports, and everybody who does a long distance triathlon can be very, very proud of his achievements.
Yeah.
What I want to do with my challenge is to inspire people to try.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, when I started this, I never did more than one long distance in a row.
Yeah. You're
And-
challenging your own limits, and everyone
And
else should challenge their
I believe, well,
own limits.
nobody has tried 120. I never failed trying it, so it's probably possible. And this is the message I want to send.
Yeah.
That it's okay to fail sometimes, but the real failure is if you don't try.
Yeah.
So if you want to do a long distance triathlon, just train a bit and try it. But
Yeah.
you have to have the guts to try.
After finishing his long workday, normally between 9 and 10 p.m, Jonas thanks the supporters who joined him that day. He has had people join him every single day thus far. And then he hustles to the van and home for a quick rub whilst eating and sorting out the admin for the following day. Jonas kindly allowed us into his bubble, and we spoke to him a little bit more about all the logistics of a challenge like this.
Do you use any caffeine when you're doing your day? I mean, other than the three espressos you've told me about.
I eat espresso in the morning,
Yeah.
then after the swim,
Yeah.
at lunch break, and before the run. And then I have sometimes a second loop of the bike ride, but I don't always take it.
Yeah. You have to be careful because obviously you need to sleep for the next day.
Yeah. So usually on the run I don't take additional caffeine.
Yeah. Looking for the sleep for later on. Are you tempted to go faster one day so you can have more sleep, and then slower one day so you can have more recovery, and then alternate those in days, or do you just as you go?
I sometimes try when Andre comes for physio, I try to be like 15 minutes faster, but it doesn't always work. But I try. Sometimes if I struggle to sleep, I do breathing to get down. But most nights I sleep quite quickly.
Do you find that?
I learned so much during the challenge about nutrition, my body, and everything. Because my past challenges, I was unsupported. So, well, even if I wouldn't know what kind of food I should eat, I wouldn't find it. So it was just like by doing. And now I have physio, a doctor, nutrition experts and everything. And
Kiwi könnt ihr noch geben.
and I learn so much about my body and everything. My doctor, we are also he wants to collect all kind of values. He took my blood before and I think after day 30, and we'll do it again a few times. And then I take my resting heartbeat, my
SpO2.
yeah, exactly that one, and a few other values to track.
You don't wear a whoop or
No.
You're
No.
okay. You don't wear a whoop or any of those lifestyle trackers or anything
No,
like that.
no. That's actually very interesting because if you look at blood values, they are almost like before the challenge. So
Gone back to normal. After
yeah, it
59
really
days.
seems like the body kind of adapted, and in a lot of sense, it's just a new reality.
Yeah. You aren't tempted to wear something, a fitness tracker or something, just so afterwards you can see over 120 days I slept this many hours, I exercised this many hours. Yeah, it's fascinating, but obviously that comes at a cost because you have to wear, you have to look after,
Yeah.
charge batteries, you have to, and that's again
Yeah,
that balance of where you invest.
yeah. I actually gained 3 kilos 2 weeks ago.
Just
I ate a lot and I gained 3 kilos, but I lost it again.
you taking supplements, vitamins, minerals, like those kind of
I take
things.
a vitamin boost in the morning for the immune system,
Yeah.
and an ingwer shot, a ginger shot,
Yeah.
and then I think I take triple magnesium in the evening and amino liquids, and what else?
Iron?
Omega 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No iron?
No, actually, iron I got through the nutrition. I eat a lot of red beet.
Yeah.
How is it called in English?
Red beetroot?
Beetroot. That's it. Yeah, beetroot and cashew nuts. And my iron values actually improved a little bit since the start of the challenge.
Wow. It's, yeah.
We've left Jonas to go to sleep. He's got 7 hours before he's going to do it all again. Good luck to him.